Hello, my name is Christopher Gould. I'm the local technical application scientist supporting researchers in the Boston area, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit today about how to modulate our pre-formulated cocktails through a methodology we call spike-in to give the most flexibility to researchers to expand upon their existing selections in those panels to specifically allow people to address their researchers' needs. So basically our universal cocktails come in two basic flavors right now. We have our TB&K cocktail, which are specifically designed with the basic markers to allow a researcher to define T cells, B cells, and NK cells. And then we have our universal panels, which are these multi-marker panels that are upwards of hundreds of markers to be as expansive as possible and hit the majority of targets that most immunological researchers may need. People may want to add in newer targets, basically for a number of reasons. It could be the use or need for a particular clone, a new target for a novel research area, or their own antibodies that may have designed. All of these are capable to be added in this process, and I just wanted to review a couple of the technical limitations in that regard. Each antibody that's going to be spiked into the cocktail should be properly titrated against the expression level for that particular sample type to make sure that it is used in an appropriate range to have a readout at the end of the experiment where the reads are balanced in between all the different targets. This allows the researcher to ensure that the lowest abundance targets and the highest abundant targets are all given the same opportunity to be gathered within that data set, and the data set isn't skewed towards the higher abundant proteins in that particular sample. So that is one of the first considerations. The second, obviously, that comes up for many people is how many targets can we spike into these panels, and that really is the volume consideration. When these lyophilized cocktails are brought back up into a liquid solution, there's a set volume that's used in this process. That is where that can be replaced with a liquid version of a particular antibody. Most of our antibodies are at a set concentration for use with TotalSeq at one set concentration. If you use that as a guidance, there's about 12 to 13 micrograms total amount of antibody that can be added in. However, obviously many researchers may have a different concentration that's used, in which case it's not an amount that's a limitation, but the volume. And that's clearly detailed in the protocol that people can check in on. If a newer target or a target already has existing data available, we're always happy to share what our titration recommendations would be if we have that available for a common sample type. And all you have to do is reach out to our technical team. So there are two final considerations when following our guidance that I would add in. One is the disclaimer that spiking in new antibodies into the existing universal cocktails does come with a disclaimer that there's no guarantee that there might not be an effect on your new antibody on an existing antibody within the panel. So it's important to take that under consideration when examining your data, and we're always happy to help support that as much as we can through talking with our technical team. Another disclaimer in this regard would be the use of both primary and secondary antibodies as a dual spike-in. It's not something that we currently support, but it is something that we're more than happy to work through on a case-by-case basis. It's a little bit more complex technically, and our tech support team is more than happy to work with researchers for those types of applications. To learn more about spiking into our lyophilized cocktails, please reach out to us. We'll be more than happy